to being a professional in this profession. All right, guys. So welcome to week 2, email and calendar management, mastering communication and scheduling tools. So for this week, we want to look at one of the highly demanded virtual assistant services. It's email management and calendar management. And this is actually, like I said, one of the highly demanded skill or services of a virtual assistant. So you must know how to manage all of these things. They call it communication flow. You must know how to plan, organize, schedule, receive and send all of these things, how to draft a professional email. You must know all of these things because oftentimes, like I said, if you are working, especially as an executive assistant, this is one of the skills that is required. Your client you are going to be in charge of their mailbox. So you should be able to help them to create labels, plan filters, organize filters, plan their schedule, their activities, book meeting. If you are maybe you are working with a service provider, know how to use Calendly to plan their what's it called now, their time that will be open. And so these are all the things we'll be looking at in this week 2. So we'll try to be fast. Then section will ask you should know how to write a professional client-ready emails, organize inboxes with filters and labels, manage scheduling with Google Calendar and Calendly, automate reminders and recurring events. Like I said, this is one of the most highly demanded services of a virtual assistant. So you must know these things. The recurring event, like I told you from the orientation, this webinar is on my calendar. On the webinar platform, you have access to the back end. You will see that from the starting of the webinar to the day it's ending, it's there. I don't create this thing every day. But the link is already there. You with the link I actually sent for you now. You can actually register with this link for the next webinar. It's the same link. You can use it to register. Once this one ends today, you will not see it on the platform again. But if you register, it will just redirect you to the next class. Okay, so you must master all of these too. So professional email etiquette. Professional email etiquette. When we talk about writing an email, you must understand that emails, WhatsApp messages, SMS messages are different. They are different. They have different style of writing. You cannot be sending a mail as though you are writing a WhatsApp message to a client, and you cannot be sending a mail as though you want to send an SMS. So you must know how to differentiate all of these things. You use a professional email address. Unlike the WhatsApp, you use phone numbers. The SMS, you use phone number. For professional email, you use an email address. For example, if you've received all our mails, you'll see something like perfectdigitalhub@gmail.com. So you must know how to, and I believe every one of us that are here has a mail. That's a professional email address. But however, there are also other professional email address that has what they call domain name, or it's something you can see like Perfekt Digital Hub, info.perfectdigitalhub@gmail.com. You understand? So that's like, I think if you are familiar with this mail from bank, oftentimes those are the kind of mail they use. They are more officials. And for email, how do they call it now? Email marketing platforms, they use those kind of mail. It's more easier, especially if you want to send bulk email, like say 1,000 people, 2,000 people. With that kind of email address, your mail don't get spam. But if you just use like perfectdigitalhub@gmail.com, oftentimes people will not receive the mail in their primary inboxes. Include subject, greetings, clear body, and closing. Like if you look at the emails you have been receiving, you'll see a subject like Perfect Digital Hub, virtual assistant training. Subject, that's the subject. The greetings, dear Perfekt, dear Esther. For those of you who receive our mail, you'll see you usually use the person's first name. You, dear Esther, dear Angela, dear Victor. You understand? Then you use it after the dear Victor, you now use a clear body. You write something, you write in a professional way that people can understand. They don't want to use dictionary and all these things. Know how to use your punctuations, your full stop, all of these things very well. Then the closing, you can now say something like warm regard, Perfect Digital Hub from the Perfect Digital Hub team. Perfect Digital Hub team. So you must learn all of these things. Avoid slang or no word replies. Another thing is that depending on the kind of mail you're actually writing, okay, but on this note, let's assume you are writing for a client. It's an official mail. You must know how to differentiate casual things from official things. So when you are in a professional world, try not to be casual. That is using certain words while communicating. Why it may not mean anything to you, the people in the other at the receiving end usually will not understand what you are trying to do. So go straight to the point. Okay, go straight to the point. Unlike WhatsApp, you can use things like TU as to. This kind of writing, TU as to. You can use to, okay, sorry, 2U. Am I even correct now? I can't even know how to use those things anyway. But I have said something like you can use 2M or arrow, something like that as tomorrow. That DAT instead of THLT as that. You understand? Those kind of things, those are not things that are needed. You don't use those kind of words in writing email, professional emails. Okay, so avoid those kind of abbreviations. Avoid them, especially if you are working. So one of the things you need to do actually, that's why first they said somebody who can write and communicate as one of the etiquette, the professional essential skills. You must know how to communicate. Communication is not just speaking now, also in writing. You must be good with English. At the rotation, I said, if you are a French speaker, speak the French top notch. If you are an English speaker, speak it top notch. Okay, so avoid as much as possible as you can those kind of short slangs or those pidgin writing. Those in other countries, I wouldn't really know much about your slangs and all of that. Using a word like HAFA as alpha, no, rather than are you understand? So avoid all of those things. Proofread before sending. You don't just type and send. Proofread before sending. In fact, one of the good practice to do is that when you have written your mail or any document, you don't send it. You don't even proofread immediately. Relax for about 30 minutes, then go back again. I saw something online where somebody was saying that you prepare a document in your eyes on the screen, everything is correct, but just when you go to submit, just when you go to submit it, it will seem like there are a lot of errors. It's when you are now with the hard copy, you now notice a lot of errors. That's oftentimes because you just type and go and submit. In the process of typing, especially if you have typed for hours or you have worked on the document for hours, you have formatted the document for hours, there is this strain or stress in your brain. You might not be able to see clearly at that moment. So what you do, you relax, calm your nerves. You even need to sleep. By the time you wake up, review the document. That's why you need to always work and make sure your work is ready before time. Because oftentimes, if your work are not ready before time, you will not be able to involve this kind of practice. So if you're always at the deadline, not always at the edge, you are just going to finish and submit, and then you will notice a lot of errors. Okay, so practical tips: save templates for repetitive emails. Just save the template anytime you want to send, especially for marketing emails. If you are sending marketing emails, just save the template. What you do, you just go back there, change one or two things, maybe the date or the product name or the time or the venue. That's all. You just send, okay? Rather than always starting afresh from, especially if it's maybe a weekly newsletter that you have to send. There's already a template for it, maybe things that are contained in that newsletter. You already know them, so just have a template and always use it, okay? So I think that's one of the things you can actually do for a professional etiquette. Like I said, avoid any vernacular as much as possible. Okay, so let's take a look at this email now. This is just an example of what I've said now. You can look at the subject, weekly update, social media task. So just looking at this subject, now you already know what this is. Let's say, for example, I am the client. Perfect Digital Hub is the client that you are working for. And you send me, say, from Esther. I receive a mail from Esther, esther99@gmail.com. Bro, I just saw weekly update, social media task. In fact, I already know, because you will see that's one of the things you will first see. Once you receive a mail, you will see the subject of the mail, and oftentimes there is what we call a subheading or a preview text. You see it. So when you see that subject, you already know what this mail is talking about. And these are the things that also help you to create your label and plan your filters. Okay, we'll go into this more probably tomorrow. So you get now. Then as you created the subject like that, then Perfekt Digital Hub, or Dear Perfekt Digital Hub. I hope you are having now that's the greeting we talked about. You have the greeting. I hope you are having a great week. Here is a quick update on your social media content post schedule. Now, with this, I already know what the person is communicating. Captions draft and uploaded to Trello. Engagement, there is use of bullet point itemizing what they have accomplished. Probably a task in relation to this was given to you to carry on to finish by a particular deadline. So you just come and give an update. Okay, this one, engagement report. So all of these things, by the time I read, I already know, okay, this is it. Straight to the point. It doesn't have to be voluminous. It doesn't have to be very big, large. Just hit the nail on the head and move on. Then let me know if you would like to adjust anything. So by the time I look at what you have done, probably there will be an attachment for the content you have planned. You can put the attachment if there's need for that. Then I'll have to preview if there's anything. Then I will also now reply you with whatsoever you need to update. All right. So also, you see best regard, your name, Esther. Best regards, Shoma. That's not the closing. Now, for also use things like Grammarly and Quibo. These are AI and also save templates for a query email, which we also I talked about earlier. So for this Grammarly and Quibo, they help you to correct your grammar. They help you to arrange your words. They help you to arrange your grammar. They check for spelling errors, punctuations, and that's just the answer. So like I said, you must know how to use all of these tools. So by the time you have drafted your mail, just copy it and put it on Grammarly. Once you type, you paste it on Grammarly. Grammarly will help you to do all the corrections you need. Also, go through it after Grammarly has done its work. Okay? Why Grammarly might be smart and okay, you can't take away that human intelligence. All right? and we must also understand language difference. The English, there's also version. We have the UK version, the UK English. We also have the American English. I think we also have the not Asian, Australia English. I can't remember, but English has. So there are some things that there are some words, the spelling that might be correct in American English, but necessarily not correct in UK English. I think one of those words is like favor. I think the American English is spelled as Favor, while the British is spelled as Favour. So first of all, understand the person you are working with and what the English they communicate with. So you don't, when this AI do some of these corrections for you, you don't just assume it's totally correct. You use AI to help, not to depend on AI. Inbox organization and filters. Now we're talking, because like we said earlier, this is one of the highly demanded virtual assistant skill. I'm telling you the honest truth. Very highly demanded. In fact, anytime we even talk about virtual assistant, oftentimes this is what the services people are looking for. You can see the inbox here. You see the template of how the Gmail work. You see composers to draft email. You see the inbox. You see stead message, snooze, sent, draft, client, project, task, important. For those of you who are familiar with your Gmail, you already have this kind of things there. Now you know how to create a label. Know how to create a label for clients and projects. Let different. This is like a way you filter these things, so that when the mail come, if I want to, personally, I receive more than 100 mail a day. Let me not lie. I think I actually probably receive more than 100 mail a day, because I have like roughly 4 emails that I run. I have my own personal, say, 3 emails. I have Perfekt digital of email that I also run at some point. You understand? And some other emails too. So I receive like 100 at the minimum email a day. From LinkedIn alone, it's just LinkedIn alone should be more than 50 actually. So you should know that it's actually more than. And I also have other newsletters that I read, that I need to get update from what is happening in the job market, what is happening in the VA world, what is happening in other industry. Hope everyone can hear me, please. Hope I'm being heard clearly. So, excuse me. So you must know how to manage your your labels. Must know how to create labels for clients and from projects. Understand? Then use filters to auto sort. Now, what filter does is that once you have created the label, you set the filters as the email is coming. Let's say you created a label for client A. Then what filter will help you do is that once the email is coming, the filter will automatically take that mail with the name that you have, the place you have put it, and go to client A. So when you want to just check for email, like your inbox is already filled with, like, say, 50 emails, you don't need to go and be checking for client A or the email that comes from client A. You just go to the label, client A label, because the filter has helped you move the mail to that label. You understand? So you just go to client A, and from client A, you can view all the emails that has come from client A. So you see how easy it is, because by the time you want to check, maybe you are expecting a mail from Perfekt Digital Hub, and at the end of the day, by the time you woke up, there's already like 15 mail. And maybe Perfekt Digital Hub sent their mail around 2 a.m. and this is already 10 a.m. So you have probably received, say, 15 May by that time. So you now start scrolling. That's time consuming. It's not a good practice. You will not be effective. you will miss out of a lot of important information, messages. You might even miss out of a job and an opportunity. So what you can do that will help you, if you create a filter for Perfect Digital Hub, anytime Perfect Digital Hub, if a label with a filter for Perfect Digital Hub, anytime a mail is coming from that name, that email that you have put, the system will automatically push it to that filter, and you can create that with either the name or the subject of the mail, either the name, the email address itself, or the subject of the mail. So anytime the your mail or the Gmail sees that, they just know where to move the mail to. Then archive completed trends. Trends that you are probably, we all know what trend is. Maybe you're trying to communicate with a client and they send you reply, you send them messages, they send you reply, you are having a chat, just like we are chatting with somebody on WhatsApp. People also chat on mail. Like I've said often time, clients don't really communicate on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is more like for friendly, I know you communication. Often time in the real world market, people communicate with emails, okay? Because there are a lot of things you can send on mail that you cannot really send on WhatsApp. That is not ideal to send on WhatsApp, even though WhatsApp is quite easy and very user friendly. But email is more official and well organized. You can actually send a like an entire book on mail, an entire 100-page book on mail. You can't really do that on WhatsApp. You will just send the PDF. Okay, so those are so you must know how to, when that trend is completed, maybe you have finished uh, that conversation, like the email we read earlier, the client has made their correction, you have replied the correction, and you have sent, and everything has been necessarily not receive any notification from that mail again. It makes your mail less busy from unnecessary information. Okay, it makes your mailbox less busy. All right. Then flag urgent items. Flag them. You will know also know how to do this later. You can just flag this one out. This one is also, you know that these are things you need to respond to immediately. Anytime anytime you see it, there are things that need immediate attention, immediate answering to, immediate response. Okay. Then calendar management. Hope I'm still being held. Can you hear me, please? If you can hear me, leave a message. Let me know I can be heard very well. So calendar management. Now you can see a template on the board. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you can see client call, team meeting, project update. So these are how you can see the time. You see the date. Monday, no activities. Tuesday, there's two activity. Wednesday, there's one activity. Thursday, no activity. This is just a template. You will know. We will also learn how to create these things. Okay, color code. You will learn how to also use color so that it helps you to sort. It helps you to sort. It helps you to sort. It just make you know what and what you are doing. So I just put anything that has to do with client's birthday. It's blue. Anything that has to do with meeting is yellow. Anything that has to do with traveling is purple. Anything that has to do with what's it called now? So that thing you can say again. Events can be red, understand. So once you just know how to, so when you come, you just know where to check. Even though you might not necessarily be able to start viewing, but you just see the color, you already know, okay, that, okay, this is where to check and all of that. So add meeting links and agenda. When we are going to do the practical of creating a calendar, a meeting, scheduling a meeting, or an event on calendar, Google Calendar, you will see where you add the link. You will see where you can give a description of the meeting, which you can also put an agenda. Okay, so all of these things are actually very, very easy. Like a lot of things are very, very easy. That's why I was really surprised when some of us were trying to give uh, some excuses, say one or two things. Well, I get it. We are learning, and that's why we are here. If we know everything, we will not be here. So, but then, like I said, know how to use your initiative. Ask questions and also be creative. Think, why is this things like this? Because oftentimes, in as much as people are always available to you, but they are not always reachable. They also have what they do. So that's why you have to know how to think, how to use your connotation, use your what's it called now? Know how to use your initiatives. Okay, so you add the meeting link and the agendas. For if you're using a Google Calendar, it can actually auto create a Google link for you. But if you don't want a Google link, you can also add Zoom link or Zoom link, Zoom webinar, Zoom Meet link, Teams, and all of that. You can add it. But oftentimes, if you are scheduling on Google Calendar, it auto create a Google link for you, a Google Meet link for you. Yes, and if you are also, you can also create even a meeting on your calendar from your Google Meet end. So then you share view only access. Okay, let me try to break that down. When you share the link of the meeting or the event, you have to update it. Like there's a way when you want to share it. For those of you who are already familiar with Google Workspace, there's always that point of view, what is it called? View only, edit. So if you are sharing with people, so that they don't tamper with what you have done, because people can be some, you can just put it on view only. With that, they will not be able to edit it. That's like a security on your back end. They will not be able to edit it. So it just really makes a lot of things very easy for you and works perfectly. You get. So I think that's that on calendar scheduling with meeting. Tomorrow we'll practicalize this thing. Let's just try to save our time. Time is almost gone. Then scheduling with Calendly. Create a self-book meetings, synchronize with your calendar, send reminders automatically. Now, unlike Google Calendar, this calendar is more, they don't really have an app, it's a web-based system. But why one of the things I discovered about it is that it's more like where you can create an event. And I know I said something earlier that let's say I run a service providing business and I open from Monday to Fridays. There are particular hours I open. So you can help to now schedule a meeting, a booking meetings where people can come and book by the time that I indicated that I will be available. Now you see you are trying to see the difference. Now, unlike the Google Calendar, you can just book an event there, then put the time, everything. Everybody will have to go there. You share the link, and everybody will have. But with this, you can book multiple events also. Then people can now choose the choice of the time they want by your time that you are available, and also the system will also send them reminders automatically. Google Calendar, sorry, also does that. You can put it 30 minutes before the time. So by 30 minutes before the time, Google Calendar will send you, or this calendar will send you a reminder meeting. Okay, you have an appointment or you have an event with so by so time. Once that thing comes, it will also come with a link to join the meeting or to join the event. So, I think for those of you who have been registering for the webinar, you always receive messages like 15 minutes, 10 minutes to the time, 15 minutes to the time, and 5 minutes to the time. And oftentimes you see like a call to action, a button where you have to now, if you just click on it, you join direct, you can from that place, it takes you directly to the meeting. So that's how all these platforms work, and they make this easy. You don't need to now, oh, I have a meeting. Okay, now start. That's not the time you start opening your app or you start opening your web. You log in. No, once you just it directs you direct straight to that meeting interface. Then you join. So we'll create this what we are seeing here tomorrow. This is it now. Calendaring, scheduling with calendaring. You can see client self bookings, synchronize your calendar. This is like the setting. Then you can see book a 30 minutes meeting depending on how you want it. The days are there. This is a day, Friday, for example, May 3rd. You should schedule it, the times. Okay, when are we going to be available? So tomorrow we'll have a practical overview. So two basic things we are doing tomorrow. We'll schedule a meeting on Google Calendar. We'll create an event, know how to walk through it, see the link, how to put the link, how to invite people. You can actually also create a Google Calendar event or meeting and invite people if once you have their mail. So once you create that, they will automatically send a message to them. And those who are also interested, who they can reply and say that I'm going. I will know the numbers of persons who have responded. I am attending or I am going, as the case may be. So also it is with almost the same thing with this Calendly, if I'm correct now. Okay. Okay, so then work monitoring, that's reminders and recurring event. I know I think I've said something about this earlier. Set a recurring event weekly check-ins, like say every Monday there is a meeting between 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. You just create it on the calendar and set it on the duration. This is a repeated event. Every Monday, the system will just automate it every Monday, that one. So you don't need to go and be after one meeting ends, you now create another one. No, you just set it probably for the next 3 months or the next 1 year, every Monday, or the next quarter, as the case may be, every Monday, 8 to 9, it's meeting. Like what we are having here now, every Saturday and every Sunday, 8 p.m. is already set on this webinar platform that there is webinar. So whether if I even forget, once it is 10 minutes to the time, I receive an email. Your webinar is starting in 10 minutes time. Once it is 5 minutes to the time, 15 minutes to the time, I'll receive another notification. Once it is 5 minutes to the time, I'll receive another notification. Like Google Calendar, you can even set it 1 hour. You can set it 1 day. You can set it 30 minutes. Okay. You can set it 1 day. You can set it 30 minutes. So they help to now remind you and put you up to date. Use to-do list and Trello for extra tracking. So once you have arranged that, you can have put it. We'll also learn how to create a Trello workflow board. So you put them on Trello. The ones you are done with, you tick. You put it on done. The ones that you are currently working on, you put it on doing. Then to do, you put it there every week, every day, like that. That matrix that we worked on this week. Okay, let's say this week now. It's also a that's like an analog. Will I say analog stuff? So what you do basically, like those that are urgent, you put them on the urgent. Once you are done with it, you tick that it is done. So when you come and look at the matrix on that quadrant of urgent and important, because the ones you tick there, you know that okay, this one are done. And the ones that are not ticked, you have not worked on it, or probably you are on it. That's not the difference between Trello and Asana, if I'm correct now, and these other platforms and that matrix. Because on Trello you can actually have doing. So you know that this is what I am working on now. This particular project is what I am working on now. This particular project is done. This one is still on to do. So you move the one that you're working on and you put it on doing. Okay. Then use a to-do list. Okay, that's what I'm talking about now for extra tracking. And you just see that everything is working smoothly. And amazingly, all of these platforms have a way of reaching out to you to remind you that, okay, this is what you have to do. You are still lacking behind, or somebody like this is supposed to do something for you, especially Trello. Does that. If you assign a task for somebody, they will message the person and message you. Okay, you have a task from person digital that you are almost at the deadline. Come and work on it. I'm just paraphrasing, but the message is uh, of that nature. Okay, so let's uh, familiarize ourselves with all these tools this week. Uh, Google Calendar, this Calendly, Trello, Answer. Let's familiarize ourselves with them. Uh, just exploit them. Exploit them. Know how they work. Know their differences. Because oftentimes, why some clients we want Google Calendar, some clients are okay depending on the kind of business, based on the kind of business they do and the kind of company they run, and the services they provide, they will prefer Calendly. Okay, they will prefer Calendly. Then tools overview, the tools and Gmail, communication, filter and templates, Google Calendar, scheduling reminders, Calendly, client self-booking. Okay, so say, like I explained earlier, this calendar now, okay, let me say this. A perfect example of how this calendar work is like this. For those of you who register on this program on this, but I don't know if this calendar help to advertise, because on this has a way of reaching out. I don't know, maybe people also go there to find that, because actually we didn't really share the link like that, but somehow people get to see it and register. Maybe this has platforms where they do their own advertising and all of that. And some of you could register on your own. You get it. So this calendar is something like that, or maybe like that. So you can self book. You already know the event when it's taking place, maybe the various time are there. I think this also have something like that too. There are various events. You choose the day you want to maybe a particular event is happening for 3 days. You can register for just a particular section in that 3 days, or you can register for the entire event. So that's also how this Calendly works, something of that nature, and it really make things easy for both you and your customers, or whoever will need it, your clients or your customers, because then you just create it and give it to them, then they register and automatically they are in the meeting. Everybody gets a message. You necessarily don't need to be sending other personal reminders. The system will be sending them reminder. I believe probably till today, TCC is sending some persons reminder about this webinar, even though we have actually not been responding to this again, but I know probably because the program is still on. The registration has ended anyway, but the program is still on. And on their system, the program is supposed to also run for 6 weeks. That's how we created it there. It's also supposed to run for 6 weeks. So I believe every weekend they will be sending reminders to, because that's what TIS does. I believe on the first week, those of you who registered on TIS, you probably received a message from them, and that says you have an event, blah, 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 blah. Your event is starting with a link. All right. So our task for this week, don't be afraid. I know you see everything is seem voluminous. Calm down. Take it easy. Okay, Gmail setup. Create and apply labels to organize emails. Set up at least one email filter. Provide a screenshot of your email showing labels and filter. So this is our task for the week. So what you will do, you create and apply labels to organize an email. Tomorrow, we'll have a walkthrough of everything that is here, so that by Monday, you will know exactly what to do. Almost all of your questions on this will be answered tomorrow. So just relax. But let's just see what's there. Then Google Calendar, create a calendar and add at least 3 events, like what you saw the other time: meetings, deadlines, or a reminder. That's the 3 events. So the 3 events should be one The three events will be one of these: one meeting, one deadline, or and one reminder. Invite team members. I was telling you that you can invite people, so you get their email. Those groups, that group you belong with, that peer coaching group, don't leave it. Stay with the group, please, because you will need it. So you guys can have a group now. Everybody should submit their email on that group. Then when you create your Google calendar event or a meeting reminders, what you now do, you see where you will invite, the input that mail, they will be your invitee for that event. Then you send, they will receive the message. Then those who are interested or going will now click on going from their end, and it will reflect on your own end. You can know the numbers of persons who responded, going, or who have not responded, or who said no. You get, that's how it works. Then the assignment will not be, by that's the task. You just explore that the assignment, you share the link to your Google Calendar screenshot. Ensure it's set to allow, it's set to anyone with the link can view. That was like, you have to give access. So that link you will share so that we will not view it from our end and see what you did, how you said, like I said, we are accessing everybody. All those who submitted their tasks, trust me, we looked at them one by one. There was somebody work I was very impressed with, though the person kind of submitted very late, but I was very, very impressed with her work. I think the person is a she. She did an awesome job. Her work was really organized and her questions were well answered. I can't remember the name, but I think, I don't know if it's Precious. Probably Precious. I think so. Maybe Precious. I can't remember the name. So you get, then Calendly, set up a Calendly account. So one of the two you do now, immediately after this meeting, just type this Calendly you are seeing now, type it, that are highlighted now, type it on your browser. It will come, log in, create an account. One of the easy things you can do, just use your Google account. Now, those of you who don't have a Google Workspace account yet, register your email on Google Workspace. I think I told us already how to do that. I told us how to do that. Just Google Workspace, type it on your browser, it will come up. Sign in. Use your email address as signed. Once you sign in, that's automatically your Google Workspace. And in that Google Workspace, you see all the Google Workspace tools that are there. You will see everything that you ever need to use in Google Workspace. They are there. So you can also use your Google Workspace account to sign in, to create an account on Calendly, or you can decide to also create the numerical. Personally, I like using my Google account. It's quite easier for me. That's for me, and also that's the standard, please. I just like it because it doesn't oftentimes require password. It doesn't oftentimes require many backend here and there. You get, so you just, then later on, if you want to set a password, you set a password for platforms that allow that. Then configure availability for clients self-booking. We'll do this tomorrow. So you create a program or an event, and you configure it for self-booking. People can self-book and all of that. Then you share that booking link. So that's 3 now. Okay, you send the screenshots of your organized email box, then you share 2 link. Let's not forget. Then Google Workspace familiarity. Go and explore all the tools in Google Workspace. Please do, you will need them. Reading from Google Form, Google Slides, Google Site, Google Meet, Google Sheets, Google Doc. There are really, really, really many. Let me see. Hold on, please. I can't even access it here. This is not my official email. I'm sorry about that. So then you have the Gmail, which is of like a Google. That's actually Google Mail. Gmail is Google Mail. So space, you have access to everything that Google has. You have everything that Google has. Okay. Assignment. Ensure you do your homework, please. Ensure you do your homework. Don't submit, don't start late. It's early to bed, early to rise. Though oftentimes that's not true, but then I don't think that's really true anyway. Early to bed, early to rise. I know people who can sleep 3 a.m. and wake up 5 a.m. Whereas some people will sleep 8 p.m. and wake up 8 a.m. But then they said early to bed, early to rise. The elders cannot be wrong. Start early to avoid pressure. This is actually a practical scenario we are giving you. Those of you who started late, you see the pressure you were under yesterday and today, because it actually seems that some person started on Friday. Almost every one of us started on Friday. The earliest person to submitted in the night. And you can't be working with a client like that. One of the things we talked about is that the process we are taking you through, we are not just giving you the knowledge, we're also building a character and an etiquette where we are taking you through a process where by the end of the day, you have not just know what all of these things, you are also becoming the person, like you know how to, no, some persons are complaining about, I think there's some group who was supposed to have a meeting yesterday and they're complaining about time of the meeting and all of those things. My dear people, my dear legends, if you are working and you are from Africa, Nigeria, oftentimes you are going to be working with people in other time zone. When you are supposed to be sleeping, that's where those people will be awake. I think in I don't know, US should be like 5 hours ahead of us. So imagine 5 hours ahead. So oftentimes, while they are awake, their daytime, you're already in your midnight. Okay, there's this class I've been having for the past 4 months or 5 months now, because I'll be rounding up next month. We have some South Africans, East African people, and South African people join us. And I think they are 2 hours ahead of us. And we usually have meetings every Thursday, most Thursday by 9. We did one this week Thursday. When we rounded up the meeting by 10, we already 12 a.m. But they also have to attend. While we are 10 p.m., they're already 2 hours ahead. So imagine the one that is 5 hours, you are working for a client that is 5 hours ahead. So when you are 10 p.m., the person is like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. If I'm correct now, yes, 3 a.m. And here at 3 a.m., your body and soul want to sleep. Like you just want to sleep. Even if you sleep during the day, you want to sleep. So you must know how to now balance this thing. Because oftentimes, if you are doing these remote jobs, you can also be doing other jobs in the daytime, then you do this one in the night. And you're another kind of person, you're always, I'm too tired today, I want to sleep. You're applying to fire you. Like I said, there are many other persons who can do your job. So you have to be very good. You don't just have to be good, you have to be very good. Not just in what you are doing, you just not just knowing what to do, but you also know how to deliver. Know how to deliver. And if you're not going to be able to reach out, please, I might not be able to meet up with the deadline. Can we extend it, please? Learn all of those practices, okay? Learn all of those practices. So let's start our assignment immediately. The things we can do now, let's do them. Don't wait for the video. Don't wait for anything. Even your group members, don't wait for them. Do the ones that you can do independent of the group first. Then, as you are doing that, you are reaching out to the group. You can't say because I have not done number 1, I cannot do number 2. If it's number 3, you can do first. Start doing it. Then later on, you combine everything together and you submit. That's how it works. You know how to answer exam in the exam hall now. You don't say because I don't know number 1 now, I will not answer number 2. Go to the ones you know first, okay? So the assignment are just what we already talked about in the task. So the screenshot of the Gmail inbox with label plus filter, screenshot of the Google Calendar with 3 events, or the link set to anyone to view. So you screenshot it and upload. Just share the link. No need to even send the screenshot. Let's reduce the work for everybody. You don't need to upload the picture. Just share the link. We'll view it here. Your calendar booking link. Then you list five Google Workspace tool. Like I said earlier, go and explore Google Workspace. Explore it. Personally, I can name almost all the workspace tool offhand, or without saying them, but I like almost every day I use Google Workspace. It's one of the easy thing I really enjoy using. I like there's literally no day I don't do work on Google Workspace. I'm either using my Gmail or using my slide or using my doc or using my cheat or using my Google Meet. Like there's always one thing I am doing with Google Work on Google Workspace every blessed day. Why I actually love it oftentimes is because what I'm doing here now, I can just share it with you. And if you want to, if you look, those of you, okay, you cannot see it on my screen, or you can see view only. The reason why you should view only is that the email I use in creating this is data of email. But I don't know, somehow my personal mail is on default mode on this system, and I've opened it for a while. When the system reloaded, my email now showed up as the default email. So it's not like the choice of email, your professional email, your email is your professional handshake. You get it? Like it's just the way you present yourself. In fact, people can read your mail and just know you are understand you, because oftentimes we communicate not just messages, we also communicate our personality. That's one thing we really have to understand about communication. But, try to be very, very professional and use the necessary tools and necessary materials. Avoid unnecessary slangs. All those abbreviations. Those of you who are using abbreviation, avoid inbox. Organized inbox equals to productivity boost. You know what I was telling us earlier? If you have all of these filters and label in place, you will save time, you will conserve energy, you will be stressless, and you will avoid strain in your eyes and in your health, because you just go to client A label, you will see all the messages client A have sent you. You read. If it's an appointment from a job, you can just go there, the label, and everything works better. Maybe you set up something, a profile on a platform like Upwork or Indeed, Jobberman. Create a label for all of this profile, all of these platforms. So you can just check when you want to check, you just go to Jobberman label. All the email that Jobberman, all the clients, all the prospective, all the advert, all the marketing from Jobberman, you can just view them rather than trying to now check your main boss. Now see, it's very, very time consuming. So calendar plus booking tool save time. You understand? So especially when it has to do with your recurring event, it saves a lot of time. Imagine having to create one event repeatedly every week. It's exhausting. But when you just create it, like the example I used earlier, your event is every Monday by 8 to 9, you know the company has a meeting. Just put it there. Just set it Monday, 8 to 9 for the next 3 months, next quarter, it's meeting. Let's say review meeting. Most companies do their review on Monday, most companies do their review on Friday. So depending, let's just say it's a review meeting. So just put it there. You already know in a review meeting, put the meeting agenda, what they discuss the review, because there's already a template. Then AOB, put it there. There will be any other thing, any new development, anything that is probably not in the primary agenda in the meeting, any other business that is probably, so somebody have a new idea, there's a new development, there's a new invention, can now come under AOB. And when adopted, and if it's something that is also going to be reoccurring, add it into the agenda. And the moment you do that, it's saved automatically. So you can edit one of it and it's saved with the others. Okay. Reminders equals reliability and stress-free workflow. Man, this job is very nice. In fact, life is so easy. We've had a wonderful time. Your questions, please.